Okay, what? Okay, I think. Everything's in place now. Probably. More than likely. Alright, so I went ahead and I swept two flaps of UFOs, taking out, landing on all the smallish ones. I went ahead and did one carrier, and just like last time, nobody died, so, it's huge success. Huge success. I'm probably going to be aiming at carriers from now on as like my primary target for money and stuff. Seems to, well, I mean, actually became pretty close to losing three people. And I think three guys holding shields lost their shields too. So maybe I shouldn't be quite so. Oh man, I got two people at 100 time units now. Yes. Anyway, they need to be hardened more, definitely more, especially their accuracy stats. Hit points would be nice too, but anyway. Right, so I built this, well, am building this, and it's got two hangars so that I can put two more things in, because, like they said, we're going to see more and more battleships, and the battleships kind of kick my ass. So I figure having a couple more planes right in the middle where they can support anything. I really should rename this, I don't know, Soviet or something, and then this could be overlap, but whatever, I don't care. Alright. So, I am researching. I split it, but what? Okay, I didn't split it. I thought I split it. Anyway. Okay. Mag weaponry. Alright, that was is improving our plasma technology to the point where it surpassed that of the aliens would be virtually impossible. New ideas were needed. They arrived in the form of old ideas. Mag weapons are electromagnetic coil guns that combine the remarkable properties of alien materials with our existing knowledge of ballistic weapons, so we're doing gauze guns. Yeah, the idea behind the gauze gun, or coil gun, has been around for over a century and consists of a series of electromagnets firing sequentially, accelerating a projectile along the barrel of a weapon at deadly speeds. The parallels with alien plasma weapons should be obvious. Actually, kinda, yeah. But while the plasma technology uses electromagnetic acceleration as a means to an end, the coil gun uses it as a means itself. The technology can be adapted from existing plasma weapon designs and has some significant advantage, i.e. an energy projectile does mostly thermal damage and can be partially absorbed, reflected, dissipated by a number of factors, atmospheric conditions included. A spot of rain would not offer much protection against a metal pellet traveling at 5 times the speed of sound. I think there's another reason why this weapon would be superior, actually. The aliens, they've been fighting other aliens who use energy weapons. Yes, all of their weapons are energy weapons. So naturally, their own armor and all the crazy stuff they do is specifically designed to resist energy weapons. Their armor is probably not structured towards dealing with kinetic force, just slamming into them. It probably bypasses most of their defenses. Mag weapon prototypes include all the usual suspects. Each one small enough to carry by an infantryman, but still capable of delivering a pellet of alien alloy at hypersonic speed. They are almost certainly the most powerful terrestrial infantry weapons that will ever exist. Pushing muzzle velocity any higher would raise air resistance enough to explosively ignite the air behind the projectile. No, that wouldn't kill the soldier firing the weapon, because we're wearing power armor, which, as I just stated, is good at dissipating energy. It seems we are now limited by the composition of our atmosphere, rather than our technology. Well, you can always make the bullets explode. You can make explosive bullets. You could make bullets filled with mercury. I believe that is banned, a very illegal thing to do, by the way. There's a lot of things you can do to make bullets much scarier that we've made laws to say you're not allowed to have, ever. But I think mercury was just among the most horrific, simple ideas, because, a bullet... See, we usually use these jacketed hard bullets now that make tiny little holes in people, and you hear stories about some gangster who got shot like 50 times and lived, and you're like, how do you get shot 50 times and live? What? Well, in the old days, when bullets were made out of lead was soft, and what would happen is the bullet would flatten out, and so you get a little hole at the start, and then the bullet would get, and there'd be this big ass hole in your back by the time it comes out. So yeah, you know, there's always that kind of thing you could do. The mercury bullet is just a far more extreme version. It kind of like splatters and makes a huge mess out of your insides. Yep, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Exactly. Or to quote Tom Baker, the more sophisticated the technology, the more vulnerable it is to primitive assault. I always liked that quote. Oh, heavy mag weapons. We need that actually far more. Further evolution of our mag weapon designs, producing weapon-fire mag weapons to be used by infantry and aircraft. I need this. And powerful rail guns to be mounted on our vehicle. Oh, and my base battery defenses. I need this. So we learned something interesting from that base attack. These didn't destroy the incoming craft, they only killed some of the guys in it. Which means I probably need living quarters and soldiers in all my other bases. And I do have the money, so I'm probably gonna do that. Alright, I want to make 2 more Marauders, but the alloys are a real issue. And look at that, the Illyrium. Oh, does this cost Illyrium, by the way? Did we have some Illyrium? No? Okay. Wow. They actually cost the same amount of alloys as the... No, they cost more alloys than the plasma weapons, except... Yeah, they cost more. Okay, I was confused because the caster, but I can't make that yet. So I'm gonna make 4 pistols, because I know I want them. That'll be 8 days. In the new month, I'll hire a new pile of engineers at the second base, and we're going to start production. I'll hopefully have the research by then, and we're going to start production of the big, heavy, rapid-firing Doom. That's very true. It's kind of always been that way. The objective of warfare is to kill and break stuff, but it's really to make the enemy give up. And any general who doesn't understand that is an idiot. There's been plenty of historical figures who didn't understand that. No, you want to break the enemies so they surrender. Sometimes people like Genghis Khan would just burn cities, to just be like, if you resist me, I'll burn your city. And everyone just gives up, and he becomes the greatest conqueror ever because he's not fighting all these battles and losing men all the time. People are just like, nope, come on in. You're in charge now. So any soldier you can injure is defeated. He's gone. He's not going to be able to fight anymore if you can just damage them. So it was never really about kill. Of course, historically, infections and medicine being what they were, most injuries were fatal anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't say lead is a lightweight metal. Oh, you mean poison. Lead poisoning, I mean, I don't know. I actually don't know. I know a little bit about lead poisoning, but it's always like all metal poisons. It's the slow build-up kind of poison, where it's like, people had metal balls, and yeah. Because Andrew Jackson had more than, I think he had more than 100 lead balls in his body that they couldn't remove. Maybe 100 is too many. They said he rattled like a bag of marbles when he walked was a joke. Actually, lead poisoning might explain some of the dumbass things he did. Incidentally, I believe lead is the ingredient of mercury that made the Mad Hatters mad. But that's a whole different story. Yeah, I don't think that lead poisoning is something you have to worry about from a bullet being put in you on the spot. I think that's a slower, longer term thing. Most of the metals like arsenic and such, like, it would take such a dose to knock somebody down immediately. Arsenic is, I think, about the deadliest. Well, okay, no. I can't call it the deadliest metal because uranium's a metal. And that's way deadlier. For a variety of reasons. Seriously, don't play with that stuff. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to ship 2 planes. Okay, 1 from Overlap. Oh man, if they attack this base. I hope that I won't get any more base attacks because I will be so good at smashing all of their craft. But I need to make 2 more Marauders. Unless, actually, these researches look like they'll lead a hyperdrive, a fusion reactor, a singularity core. I bet I get a new kind of interceptor. From this. We lost one of our presidents because they insisted on removing the bullet. The best medical practice back then was just leave it in. And that's usually what they did. Because when they removed them, people usually died. Because surgery wasn't that good back then. We didn't have the sterilization. Incidentally, bullets are always sterilized. They travel through the air so fast that the friction and the heat sterilizes them. So you'll never get an infection from the bullet. Not from the bullet. No. In the original XCOM, they had a specific ship. Oh, is that the fusion reactor? Such a cool looking thing. The original XCOM, they had a terror ship, and you could shoot it down, and then you could attack the terror ship while it's crashed and fight the surviving aliens. The terror missions, they tended to bring things like cyber discs and sectopods, which you never saw outside of terror missions. Or they could also do it. They could also use a battleship for a terror mission. That's what so disappointed me. One of the things I was disappointed in with Terror from the Deep, XCOM 2. By the time I was finally capable of handling terror missions, I would shoot down all the craft, so they never happened again, and I never saw the dinosaurs with lasers. They had T-Rexes with lasers or something. I don't know. I never actually saw them. But yeah. The alien fusion reactor is a large circular construction used to power the larger extraterrestrial capital ships. It consists of a central Illyrium core and a... I don't know this word. Toroidal outer ring that produces a powerful magnetic field to contain the fusion reaction and the 22 billion Celsius temperatures that accompany it. Oh, is that all? How about we use this as our weapon from now on? We'll just throw it at the enemy. At that temperature, it's got to do some damage, right? Yes, instead of missiles, our planes will just spit these. The reactor is not actually fueled directly by Illyrium. The Illyrium is used to power the energy fields needed to smash together deuterium, a hydrogen isotope, nuclei to generate fusion. Oh, okay, yeah, hydrogen fusion, got it. A process that itself emits a vast amount of energy. The Illyrium just acts as a starter mode of the process. Deuterium is freely available and not required in large quantities. This allows the weight of the Illyrium to release vastly more energy than it itself contains. The limiting factor is the intricacy of the whole design. The fusion reactor is much more advanced and would take far longer to build than a pre-Illyrium reactor. It is therefore ideal for larger alien vessels, which have vast power demands, but are sufficiently important to warrant the use of such a valuable device. We've built a miniaturized version already. Wow, that was fast. Why don't we ever, in the original game, you would like salvage things and then you'd actually, you couldn't build the alien device, so you just build your plane and incorporate it, and you'd have to salvage them. In this game, just everything. It's the 70s. Our scientists